What's crappin' in Fun Seekers? Greetings once again from Sevierville, Tennessee, where my wife and my mother-in-law drove up here in this Chrysler Pacifica minivan. And as I was riding in the back seat one day, all I could smell was oil burning, which I'm kind of used to, but not in this thing. So upon further inspection, there's a gigantic oil slick the size of New York on this concrete floor in this beautiful parking garage. So some people get to enjoy their vacation. I get to install an oil cooler filter housing and a Pentastar 3.6. And this is Greasebelly Garage Vacation Edition. Come on. There we go. Come on, baby. Get all up in this thing and see if we can't ruin this and go trade it in on a Toyota. Whew. Man, it still smells like oil. First thing we're going to have to do is take this beauty cover off, which is essentially nothing more than a bulletproof piece of plastic to protect all the lesser grade plastic underneath. These vans have a convenient catch-all up here for your hardware. You just yank on it, that'll work. Set that over there so I can step on it later. I need a light. There we go. And the hood's plastic or something. Well, you can't put it anywhere unless it burns out your retinas. There we go. Okay, right here is the oil filter cap. I know you can't see that too good. That goes into a plastic body and goes underneath this intake manifold, the upper and the lower, and that's what the oil cooler is. They warp or crack, especially when you go from Florida where it's 10,000 degrees to Tennessee where it's 18 degrees. I think that had something to do with it. Looks like we got to take a bunch of hoses off. Unplug this electrical connector on this doodad here. I hate working on newer cars. Well, I do not know. We'll just do that. That'll work. I'll just leave that alone. Shove it back there. I'm going to take this one off. I may have to go get some cheaters to do this. Make sure you get your shirt hooked on the hood latch too. That's always good. Oh, I got to take that one off too. Goodness. I'll be doggone. Dang it. Oh, my bit's gone. Oh, God. Oh, no, the bit's still on there. I just can't see anymore. The screw is gone. That's even better. Fortunately, you really only need one air filter screw to get you home. Come off of there. That means it's high noon at the Titanic Museum. Okay, a little break there. Had to go find some food and a McDonald's Coke. Making some progress here, but I gotta make a different plan. I thought I could get away with not taking the upper manifold off, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to. Well, I actually had some decent tools in my Durango. I'm a little behind on the times on how all these connectors work. There we go. There we go. As it turns out, if you unlock a lock, it works better if you want to open it. Good grief. Like my friend Larry in Florida says, man, you're like a bull in a china shop. All right. The oil filter housing is underneath here. I got to take the fuel rail and the lower intake out of there to get to the lower oil cooler. In order to do that, I got to take loose a million clips. What's holding this now? Just that thing. Boy, you gotta love these spring action hose clamps here. not. Holy crap. Uh-oh, why is it blinking? Does that mean it's dead? Oh yeah. That's always something. Dang it. I ain't never seen such a bunch of bolts that don't want to come completely out. I mean, what could possibly be holding you? You're just floating around. There it went. Oh, there we go. Holy moly. Good grief. Yeah, this thing was leaking bad. I mean, bad. Got another wiring plug catastrophe here to deal with. And it seems like you could just push down on these things, but you can't do that. You have to do some kind of calisthenics with a pick. I'm gonna buy, I swear, I'm gonna buy a pair of cheater glasses and put them, I'm gonna buy like 1,000 pair off Amazon and just sprinkle them all over the place. I'm also gonna go spend about $4,000 on new underwear because, you know, when you buy those 10 packs of underwear or whatever, there's always one pair that the elastic doesn't cooperate. Wasn't manufactured right or something. Well, that's the pair I'm wearing today. And it keeps rolling down. And it's just about to make me nuts, I'm telling you. And that always happens when I gotta do a nasty job. And I can't get in there and straighten them out every 30 seconds. So, just off camera, somebody's probably getting an eyeful. Even if I wasn't fat, I'd still have to have something to stand on. God, stupid thing. Unreal. I mean, I know that I have taken plastic clips off a million times in the past. And I've never seen such a thing. I've just never seen it. Oh, there it went. There we go. Okay. This is the junk we had to get out. Oil cooler, oil filter housing junk. Now I gotta take this sensor out, hopefully, and transplant it to the new one. Okay, I gotta get this sensor out of this old cooler here because nobody had a new sensor in stock. But when you're a big boy and you don't have a vise, you can basically do something like this. Step on it with one foot, and then there you go. Just that easy. Just next morning here, fun seekers. I'm here alone trying to get this done because my wife took the Durango to go get her nails done. Well, the only thing I get to do that involves nails usually involves a hammer as well. I tore the whole engine apart to get this oil filter housing / oil cooler out. This is the old one. It's leaking all over the place. Probably get us thrown out of here. The bolts have to come out with an E8 Torx socket. This is a heater hose for coolant. On this model, the large hole is blocked off, and the little hole is where your oil pressure sending unit, I believe that is, comes out. And that comes out with a 27mm socket, which I also had to go and invest in because I didn't bring any tools with me. And then this new kit from Dorman comes with a new cooler, all new seals, and a plug to plug that off with. I just wanted to make sure I didn't need anything else off of this, and I'm going to pitch it before it makes a huge mess. This old sensor had thread locker on it, but I don't really like to use that when you're reusing the old sensor. You're better off just getting a new sensor, but they didn't have any, of course. Oh, geez. So I bought thread sealant made by Loctite. Man, it's cold up here. Well, let me go get a tool to cut this thing open with. Dope this up. Down in Florida, they call this stuff pipe dope. And anything to do with dope in Florida is a big hit, I'm pretty sure. Tighten it just until you're about to feel the aluminum housing crack on you. There we go. That'll be good. I also like to tighten these, if you can, to get the clip on the top. So it makes it easier for the next guy to get the connector loose, like that. I'm also going to replace that stupid squeeze clamp with one of these. Can you see that? One of these mechanics engagement rings that I just dropped. It comes with all the seals that you need, including these ones for the cooler on top of the filter housing. It also comes with a plug. I've got this other fitting. Now, some engines have another, I think there's a coolant temperature. This must be coolant temperature. This is oil pressure. Or maybe I got that backwards. But I'm going to go ahead and put some thread sealer on this one too, even though it has thread locker. Just a little dab. Now I'm going to go struggle to find an Allen wrench to tighten that. Alright, I finally got the plug in, and the whatever sending unit is in now. And I got our gaskets ready, and I sprayed some WD-40 on top of these gaskets here, these O-rings. I always do that so I don't break anything, especially in this lovely weather up here. There's a centering pin on the housing that goes on this. So this should go just like that. And then there's another centering pin over here. Maybe not centering, but positioning. And it comes with its own nice little brand new bolts. Well, let me tell you, there is nothing more rewarding in life for a Florida boy than working with metal parts when it's like 40 degrees out, wearing shorts in Tennessee. By the way, I usually grunt a lot for a sound effect because it makes me seem like I'm working hard. Well, that's not true today. I'm grunting a lot today, trying to increase my body heat. Yesterday I was hot wearing sweatpants. Today I'm cold wearing shorts. Maybe I need to get like a skirt or something, or some cargo pants. Is that right? Cargo shorts? Capris, that's what I'm thinking of, capris. By the way, another tip for you. If you don't have the exact size Allen head like I did for this plug, you can take this is a 3/8 to 1/4 adapter, or whatever's closest, shove it down in there, and then take a small Allen wrench and take up the void, and you can tighten it that way. Now that's what I did a few minutes ago, but my hands are frozen, so I can't even demonstrate it now. Okay, so these bolts are tightened to 12 Newton meters, which translates to 106 inch-pounds. So I've got my little torque wrench here at the lowest possible setting. There is no sequence. I usually just start towards the center and go out. So now we're ready to jam this thing in here almost. I've got to put the O-rings on. Come in the kit. And we'll give them all a good one of them. Now let's go reinstall it. It's high noon again. Okay, here's a brief overview of what I've done here. Right there, I took that stupid spring clamp and replaced it with a regular hose clamp. I initially did not get my plug out of the bottom space, so I had to take the hose back off, pull the plug out, put the hose back on, plug the plug into the oil pressure sensor. I'm just going to go around here and make sure all this is buttoned up pretty tight. Then we can get to the lower intake. I accidentally had a brain fart and took the fuel rail loose, so I went ahead and replaced the upper fuel injector O-rings on this side. Oh, I'm sorry, it was the other side. That's where it popped up. But I didn't disconnect the fuel line, I just left it all intact. I'm gonna make sure I look in my holes, shop back those out, put a magnet down in there so nothing gets down in there and trashes the whole engine. Wouldn't want that to happen. The red stuff all over the oil cooler is blood from my hand, because I can't seem to do anything anymore without cutting myself to pieces. Okay, lower intake installed. Uh-oh. The blinking means my light's dying. The kit comes with new gaskets for right here. You just pry those out with a pick. It also comes with a new oil filter and an O-ring and a cap for that. Got all the fuel injector harnesses connected. Got all the coil packs reconnected, although I never had to disconnect those. So I'm going to... This really isn't all that bad. There's 8 bolts that hold the lower intake down. A couple of them are a little tricky to get to. Then when you put the upper intake on, after the new gaskets, on the newer models or this Pacifica, there's a hose here for the EGR valve that clamps on. There's a bracket somewhere in this area, right here, with a bolt that holds it on. And then there's a bunch of these EGR or PCV connectors. A couple of connectors over there for the throttle body and air intake temperature sensor. When you get done, you've got to top off your coolant and check your oil. So I'll just put the camera on and kind of fast forward. It's really not a big deal to do this. It's a lot more, it's a pain, but it's not scary. Not anymore. I don't want to do another one, but I'm not afraid of it.
I got that tightened up. He's cleaning off the bottom, and I'll get that floor.
Excellent, thank you. So I just didn't get the oil cap tight enough.
It was just a little.
How much coolant did I lose? Do you know?
It's like your quart.
A quart? Oh, I did good then, right? Hey, maybe I haven't lost it. But you know what? I hate working on new cars. I like old cars a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't thought about because my wife has another car. Yeah.
You know what? Here's some advice for you, okay? And I'm just an old-fashioned car guy. Anything before the push-button starter is pretty much okay. As soon as they started putting the push-button starters in the dash, that's when it all went down the toilet to me.
So I've worked on stuff from the 30s until new stuff.
Oh, cool.
I
See, this job, this oil cooler thing or filter housing, whatever they call it,
Yeah.
was a little intimidating for me because I had to like break out the metric tools, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I got in it to drive it, I'm looking for smoke and fire and everything, and I heard this noise, and it turned out that it's this stupid tag on my Scooby-Doo hat that I forgot to tear off was smacking the headliner.
You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, the Mystery Machine ball cap, you know? So I thought I screwed something up bad. But I don't know. Torquing those plastic manifolds is kind of new to me, you know? Are we good here?
Yeah, he's getting finished up right now.
You know what? I want to buy you guys some beer or something, man. You know? Can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll
Look,
turn out some beer money.
take this $20. Is that good for beer up
Yeah,
here?
absolutely, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate it. You make sure all them guys know it, okay?
Absolutely. Like I said, I'll
And what kind of beer are you gonna buy? Whatever's on sale.
probably.
Okay.
Like
Hey,
Coors or Miller.
hey. We speak the same language, homeboy. All right. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah. I'll stop by. I'll bring one of my clunkers by here one day.
Hey, I
Okay.
love clunkers now.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Take it easy.
You have a great day.
Thanks a lot, man. Be good. Hey, I gave him beer money. Okay, so got a check engine light on now. Got the oil cooler replaced. Van's driving good. Got a check engine light on. I stopped and had the codes read at Advanced Auto Parts. As it turns out, I've got a code for a knock sensor. Now, that doesn't surprise me because they were soaking in coolant and oil and all kinds of stuff. I probably should have just replaced them when I did the oil cooler, but it was leaking so much oil. You know, we had to get this thing back to Florida. So I got it good enough to get us back to Florida. I'll get a couple of knock sensors when we get back, reverse this whole process. The knock sensors are conveniently located directly underneath the oil cooler, so that's all going to come back out again. But it's not a big deal. Don't be intimidated by this job. It's really not that big of a deal. There's probably a total of 5 or 6 emissions hoses, a couple of wiring harnesses. There's 8 upper intake manifold bolts, 8 lower intake manifold bolts. You can leave the fuel rail intact once you disconnect the fuel injector wire harnesses, flop it over to the side, and then you need an E8 Torx socket. Take the 4 bolts out, or 5 bolts that hold the cooler down to the inside in the valley of the block. Make sure you clean out all the coolant and oil that you possibly can first. I did not drain anything before I did this. I did this in a condominium parking garage with a set of Harbor Freight tools and a Dorman aluminum replacement filter housing. The thing looks great, works great so far. The oil leak is fixed. So there you go. When I get back to Florida, jam a couple knock sensors in this thing, and it'll be good until it blows up. I don't know. New car quality is not what it used to be, I'll tell you that. With that said, I hope you learned a little bit from this video. If you're around a Black Rifle coffee company, make sure you give them a shout. Give them a try. And I appreciate you guys watching. Going back to Florida soon. Get some cool stuff going. And I will catch you on the flip side.
See you next time.
All right.
Tune in again.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.